All right. Welcome, everybody. We have another all-player commentary lined up here. It's most of the original crew, me, Lumen, and Mike, and we have Nerdcube or Eric here replacing CS or Andrew this week. So welcome all, and yeah, thanks guys for joining me.
How's everybody
Thanks
doing?
for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having me on
Happy to
again.
be back.
All right. Halai is joking 5-player, and honestly, someday I kind of should stream a 5er, but we sadly will not engage in that right now. We have this set to just a classic base map, no landscapes. Partly just because I'm not a huge fan of lakes and I still haven't been playing that, and also partly because this is the international clash settings for the next game on Saturday, and I think all of Eric and Lumen and myself are in that one, or is that a week? I don't know who's taking off anymore, but
Yeah, I don't remember.
It might be my week off.
okay.
It's me or Eric who are gone next week.
All right.
But yeah.
Some of us are in it. Whatever.
All right. Should I talk about the most obvious thing in this setup or no?
Yeah, go for it.
Hello, alchemists is what I'm seeing. But that is, I guess, less straightforwardly. That's because there are very few coins in the pass tiles. All the workers are in the pass tiles. We have a repeated cult bonus in rounds 1 and 2, which the alchemists could hit because they start on water with a step. But any faction who can get at least 4 steps on water in the first 2 rounds would benefit pretty nicely. The downside to alchemists would be that the endgame scoring is pretty trash. Big building, temple, big building is not super amazing, and there is going to be some mid and late game coins coming in from the cult events. So the first things I saw were not the full story.
Yeah.
I was about to say the first things I saw were the end of the track, and you said "Hello, Alchemist." I was like, "What have I missed?"
Yeah, no, I agree. It's a really interesting game. The pass tiles, I agree, tell a story of like there's not many coins and that there's like all these scoring opportunities, and then the track says, oh wait, there's actually a bunch of coins gonna get injected off the cult events, but there's not much scoring. And so that does create a weird blend of a game here where I think there's a variety of ways to play it, which is kind of exciting. But like, yeah, I think you could try to go for like a very point heavy strategy and rely on economic factions not scoring enough late. I think you could go pretty economic and hope to hit the pass tiles super hard.
Yeah, I feel like this setup in total, there's one faction only one faction I'd be very comfortable playing, but I think we're all very comfortable playing Swarmlings here. Because
Yeah.
this all does say Swarmlings, right?
It's pretty
In
good
totality.
Swarmlings. One of the things
water
one of the things I've been realizing, partly from my experimenting with Swarmlings and taking all 4 in D2 that's season or 2 ago or whatever, there's very few track points for Swarmlings here. Like, what are you going to hit? You're going to hit 1 trading post, maybe some digs, maybe the temple.
Yeah, you're gonna hit like 10 or 14 points. I mean, round 5 or 6 temples are pretty good for Swarmlings just because they need to build one late.
Yeah, correct. And so that's why, like, I mean, I think it's still pretty good for Swarmlings, and the bid can always even it out. But I think they might look deceptively good here. Well, now you already throw
Fair.
more in, so.
These guys look a powerhouse, so I'm just gonna see how much they get bid. I feel like Darklings are really good here.
Sure.
Priest of Water is pretty good. I do think though, like the thing to look at with
Whoa,
Swarmlings is the
wait,
difference between how much.
What, Mr. always defending digging with Priest early is all of a sudden like, yeah, Priest of Water, that's your throwaway comment there? I'm not letting you just slide right past that.
There you go, Ryan.
Oh, or I guess the question for a Priest of Water here. Well, the reason I think a Priest of Water here is good is because you immediately get back a priest, and it's because the rewards come early and they give you back exactly the thing you got. Right? Yeah. If you just got a spade in round, like a water spade in round 4, well, then a priest of water is not that good. But the fact that you immediately get back a priest and then another spade, you're turning a priest in round 1 into 2 spades in the first 3 rounds, and you still get the points back from having a priest. So I think that's what makes it better.
And you get eventual coins. Yeah. I agree, but it could also be 1 less worker in round 1, depending on how it goes. But yeah, as always, there are trade-offs. I agree. Darklings are just generically good. This track is totally fine for them.
Yeah. in general, I think though it's when people look at stacked rewards, I think they bias it. Like they weight it a little bit too much, even when the rewards are later. If you're like, oh my god, but like it's gonna give
Yeah.
me coins now and a spade later, it's like, well, if that later is in round 5, how good is that really? You know, you'll probably find another way to get step 4 by round 5, even if you didn't put the priest now.
Yeah,
You know,
and there's the straight time value of resources, right? For those who have done a course in economics or more, where things early are just way better than things late. And if you analyze the economy deeply of some of these like more complex engine builder games, the time value of your resources is kind of stunning. So like the coolest analysis I heard in the last couple of years was on terraforming Mars, because a friend of mine, Galen, is one of the best at the game, and he's thought about like money income in round like 4 away from now is only half as good as money income in current round, stuff like that. So that's the Mars rule. I don't know what Terra Mystica would be.
Yeah, I mean, Zorus tried to do like really weird, heavy mathematical analysis, but it's difficult in this game since all the resources have kind of fluctuating values depending on game flow and setup and whatever. But it's clear that resources early are certainly worth a lot more than late.
Okay, I'm under time pressure here, and I haven't really thought about what I wanted to put in.
That's where I was. Yeah.
I did
gonna
leave it
try
at fast
Fakirs.
time settings, so yeah.
Fakirs fit the color wheel in that they don't have neighbors, and there is relatively bad late scoring, so
But there's no coins.
All right.
and the spades in the game.
I thought cultists were pretty fun, but I don't put in sandwich factions, which means I'm not putting in blue. So I guess that means I'm throwing in red or gray. That's a little disappointing because I also really liked the dwelling rush opportunities. Even if you just took a priest, I thought there was potentially some options to maybe go for that for some guys. There's no temp shipping, which is a real shame. But early dwelling rounds, I do just love trying to dwelling rush into trading posts. But
Yeah, I did really want to put in mermaids originally and like do a water 2 mermaids strategy or something, but
yeah, that would have been fun
um,
too. I could still just
Might
do
pick
it.
water
didn't
2
want
on
to put
my
in the
first.
sandwich.
Could still do it. No, chat. No. Stronghold dwarves have certain restrictions. I'm not opening stronghold dwarves. That was a fun stream, but it was nonsense.
Yeah, I do think cultists are also good, but I also just played a lot of cultists recently.
I still might put in dwarves actually though. I do think dwarves have play here. Dwarves can tend to live with low cults or low coins because they don't really need to have an advanced ship and they don't really build big stuff. A round 4 stronghold looks plenty viable for dwarves.
If you pick dwarves, do I first bid darklings to 0?
Dwarves care less. Oh, just because you think Orin and dwarves and fakirs are so bad. Yeah, I mean that is the one problem. It's tough for me to figure out what I could do. I mean, I could put in sandwich cultists and make everybody half miserable. I don't like doing that. I just feel like if I put in a red faction, I'm also gonna make everything terrible. There's really no pretty color wheel here is part of the problem. This is the classic black.
Red is the
Things
prettiest
are a
color.
little awkward.
Picking into black, green, yellow is just awful.
Yeah, I
Picking
mean,
into black green felt a little awkward. I just didn't really like most of my options. I guess I should have picked brown. Brown was probably the thing that makes it
Black,
more
green,
balanced color wheel.
black, green, brown, red usually works out okay-ish, but
Yeah.
maybe
I didn't like either of the red factions here was the problem.
Yeah, I don't really either is the issue.
Still Swarmling. They don't care about colors.
Yeah, Sandwich Swarmlings is still viable here. Maybe that is the best play. Maybe that's just the safest thing to make.
mermaids is interesting.
Yeah, actually, right. Sandwich Swarmlings is pretty viable here.
Okay.
Stronghold Fakirs then. All right, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. I have also wanted to run a Stronghold Fakirs opening. But
So to the Twitch chat, did you realize this game is no landscapes, which means fakirs are 20 coins down from their normal?
that is the problem. I think Stronghold Fakirs opening with landscapes is actually... It's still probably not good, but I think it's actually at least conceivable.
I don't think I don't think you want to do it as an opening. My theory has been, and I've tried like 2 games of this. My theory has been strongholds in like round 3. Like round 1 you build a temple, round 2 you build a couple dwellings, round 3 you build your stronghold, and then like you have access to the whole map.
That's probably actually like
Um,
quite reasonable, yeah.
and maybe you have to push it out a little earlier,
Yeah, I mean,
especially
usual permutation
in-game.
of that though is with just a sanctuary town, finishing your sanctuary town that early and taking the range tile. That usually ends up better, in my opinion.
Yeah. So the time when it would be when you'd want to do that would be like when you can't get a sanctuary town easily, right? Like just when things often don't break your way. Darklings beat you to E2. Um, you know, cultists are on E6 or something, right? Like if the things don't break your way to like get an early town by round 3, then the stronghold can be a different path for that. And the game I tried it in too, I think I did it. I think Fakirs were like sandwiched or like had a color neighbor, right? It was the kind of thing where out that early range was super important to claim.
And you're probably getting a lot more early leech in a sandwich situation.
All right,
Yeah.
stop speeding up the bidding, Mike. Some of us are already in timer pressure. We were trying to get some easy, just incremental bids to get our clocks back up.
I hate that, like, with such a good color wheel position, Fakirs aren't even the second best faction here.
Yeah, it is rough. Somebody did
played-
ask what the 30 faction is. I suspect the 30 faction is Orin.
I agree.
Because Orin are getting beat to the 2 key town here.
That's the main difference.
a big
To be
problem.
fair, I don't actually know how low anything should be. Like, I don't think Orin are gonna be terrible because I do think Orin are just getting that center town in the middle of the map.
Yeah.
So
Like no temp shipping, low coins. I guess Orin probably take Fire 1 or something.
I think Orin probably have to take Fire 1. Yeah, I mean, I agree. That's the big. I do think the coin problem actually probably hits Orin the hardest. Fakirs also like need coins, but they.
I mean, if there were pat coins on these pass tiles, I'd probably be on Fakirs by now.
I agree. Like Fakirs really don't like lots of scoring on the pass tiles. They have again such good inherent scoring that yeah, like this track is actually pretty good in terms of like the points are just hard for everybody, which makes Fakir's ability better. But yeah, the pass tiles again tell a different story. So
it's about the most favorable color setup for Fakir, so
it is.
I don't know how
It-
bad they'd be.
And yet the rest of the setup is like really tough on them. Well, no,
Fakirs
I
are
shouldn't
probably
say
getting
that.
a spade.
I think they get a
They're
spade
probably
and then
getting
like
a spade
get some
also.
good territory in the
I
middle.
mean, you guys play round 1 Swarmlings differently than I do, with approximately the same results. I usually take spade.
I was gonna say I would take spade potentially as sword leads, especially in a dwelling round first. I think that's totally fine. Big building is
fair.
very defensible for sword leads too, but it's not.
If you go big building, you're really hoping to open both big buildings together, right?
Probably even then, two workers sometimes is just better for swarm lanes than a spade and 2 coins, depending on what you're really trying
Fair
to
enough.
do.
Yeah.
But with dwelling in round 1, I don't know. I often would just take the spade.
Low coin game taking even 2 coins away is something this early, in my opinion.
So and the other question too is, I guess, where you're starting a Stormlinks, G6 H4, I'm guessing.
I'm probably D2 because Fakirs are in the game.
Okay.
I agree. I
that'd
think I might just still play D2 sword lanes.
That might be a reason for me to not start D2 actually, because it just massively swings the power balance of Fakirs if there's someone there or not.
Well, don't Darklings go there regardless?
I was gonna say,
I
so
guess
it's
Darklings
awkward. If
C1,
swarm lanes
yeah.
don't go there, Darkling's second dwelling's gonna go C1, right? So
Well, I guess Darklings on E5 digging to E6 is pretty good for them too. There's a lot of interesting things going on.
yeah. The starting spots are not actually that cemented. I mean, Fakir's pretty cemented. Everything else is well, Orin are probably the.
Why wouldn't they do the usual thing?
Just because if swarm lanes are going to be east, I don't. Yeah, Orin should still be east though, but.
Yeah, it just contributes to their tough game a little more.
All right, I think we're okay.
Yeah, I was thinking it could get close, right? It's tough though. Like, as I've been telling myself for a long time now, I keep paying a few extra points for safety. I see ways it goes well for Fakirs, and then I see if Lumen does keep the spade, I already start to be a little sad. I take worker powers, Fakirs, and I don't know if Lumen doesn't. Well, Lumen said he was starting D2, but yeah, I don't know. I say all that, and yet maybe you're right. Maybe it is Fakir's time. Nah, Swarm might still have to be better than Fakir's by a few points.
I was thinking my deal is pretty good here.
Yeah, and then I think Darklings are still worth it. If Swarmlings take Spade, you probably get to double Temple as Fakir's, sure. Although, again, Neighbors are probably there, but I don't know.
I don't know. I like double temple in
Get a
non-landscapes.
dwelling.
I
dwelling
agree.
around.
I don't love double temple here either. It's still pretty good, but like the track doesn't super support that either. And again, then like Fakirs are also gonna get like no track points this game.
Right. So fakirs are a lot better on the track if they build their second temple round too.
Or at least build their trading post
Yeah.
round too. Like you get an extra 3
Yeah.
points that way. Like
Yeah, I think the big problem is just if you're not building a second temple round one, like what are you doing?
I think you're taking
You
worker
know,
power and hoping to get a spade action, but I agree. It depends on where the leech is happening and if that's gonna be a thing. Like, are Orin getting double dig? I don't know who's getting double dig, right? Like, are Swarmlings gonna take
yeah.
it? Are Fakirs actually gonna get it? I think there's a world where Fakirs get it, but
How crazy is taking 2 worker and just hard digging round 1 as
uh,
Fakir?
yeah, that's actually not terrible.
It's not crazy. It's obviously not optimal, right?
It's clearly a worker and 2 coins worse than the spade tile, but I mean,
Yeah.
the spade tile is the best possible thing, so.
You probably have Darkling taking it and going for maybe starting with Sanctuary opening if they can do it.
I mean, again,
How
this is the
bad
tough
are
part. Like,
Orin?
the leech is not clear. I don't think Orin are that bad either. As I said earlier, I do think they're going to get a center town. Which actually means maybe Orin somehow do win the race to 2-key town. It depends on how aggressively Swarmlings go for it, but
I don't want to try Orin. This is crazy of me.
Ooh.
I think it's slightly
Yeah.
crazy of you, but
I think you could probably get it in 2 or 3 points if you want them this badly, but
Uh-oh.
that's my main read, I guess. I was thinking I would take Swarmlings down at least a few more and Fakirs down at least like 2 before I would go Orin, but
Are you trying to trick me into taking Orin on the first go?
I mean that's the problem, right? Like if Eric thinks
Oh,
if Eric
I'm
thinks
gonna
Orin
try
are
it.
good, yeah. All right. I do like. I think I probably paid slightly too hard for the safety of Darklings, but
I mean, relative to Swarmlings, I think you probably paid a little much, but relative to Fakirs and Orin, I think you're fine. I think I probably have the best deal here, depending on how the opening breaks and coins and such. Mike might be in a good position, but I don't know.
I think I agree with all of that. Yeah.
I reserve the right to not do D2 G6.
Yeah, I know you do, which is part of why I'm really thinking about where I'm supposed to start this game.
I was also a little bit banking on like the idea that Darklings would start on E5 and dig E6 first action. Not banking on, I guess, but that's what I would have done if I were Darklings, and that makes Fakirs worse, and I think Orin a
Right.
little better.
Sure.
Yeah.
Makes Darklings a
So
little
that,
better.
that was
And
part of my
you
read.
want me to dig first action? Do you know who I am?
That's true. I just like when I get the chance as Darklings, like when green and yellow are in the game, like in this specific setup, right? Green and yellow are in the game.
Yes.
You act before yellow, and you have a priestess Darklings. You just dig E6. Like that's just what I do as Darklings.
Yeah. Gray,
Same.
we did cover that earlier, but you probably weren't here. But yeah, I did earlier say the track's pretty rough for Swarmlings. I mean, it's pretty rough for everybody. Even Darklings aren't going to get like a ton of points off this track. So
I was thinking about maybe starting in the east, but I'll just do this.
all right, time for me to determine exactly who I want to have a better or worse game.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm in your shoes, I'd do exactly as Eric says. I'd build E5 here and then first action dig build e6.
I think I'm doing that too. I just think it sucks on some level because I do think I'm gonna hand Orin way too much, which is probably why Eric took them for seeing this problem.
I mean, it's still not a great Orin position in my opinion.
What's wrong with C1?
I think it's pretty good for Orin.
The problem with C1 is that E5's better.
The problem with C1 is that
That's
there's no
how I see
temp
it.
ship in the game. Like, what happens if B2 gets taken? Like, it's awful.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
Kiers can pretty
Mike
easily.
trying to bait you. Listen to that.
Sneak
As
in
I say,
there.
especially knowing that it's Mike, he's gonna beat me to B2.
Maybe. Well, at least I'll get power if all that happens. Can't be that upset. He does take the spade. All right, so these all have some appeal.
Yeah.
Worker power is the best for me.
Gonna make it tough on me as well.
Force you to do that first move because I could one dig first move. Takes the priest. Okay.
Yeah.
He's got all the priests.
It's pretty close. It's pretty close.
The other thing I was really, really hoping for, right? The dream in this situation was that I also get the priest, and you first dig first move, and I get priest to water, and everything's the dream.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that would have been extremely
Well,
good for you. Yeah.
the town hopes over here are much worse, but it is where all the power's happening. So
Yeah, that is the downside to this opening is that I get nothing.
yeah, your swarmling doesn't need anything. You're fine.
Yeah, I want to double dig.
Take all the spades. Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, the more I can deprive everyone else, get my digging out of the way before I need to, get my 7 spaces locked in, and have a game.
So it's not super clear yet to me, Gray, that Fakirs are getting double dig. It seems likely, but
I have options with this power action. If I want to take one here. Going for a priest is almost certainly too risky.
yes,
Taking 2 workers hurts Brian a bit.
So yes and no. So taking a priest, I probably still go priest to water. But if you're willing to open Stronghold Temple Water 1, then the priest is still fine.
True.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, everyone likes a priest here.
Although I guess the problem with opening Stronghold Temple Water 1, as I just said, is that maybe you can't build a dwelling. I never understand. I forget.
Well, I have a spade, so.
Yeah, I forget Swarmling's math, though. I don't know if you have enough workers to do that.
All right, I have to confess, I'm reading Twitch chat. You're calling me a coward. I have to respond to that. I will take water to wait. We'll see. We'll see.
Water 2 Swarmlings isn't awful here, actually, but
if I had more leech, I'd really consider it harder.
Yeah, well, part of why I say it's not awful too is like you can always take air 1 in round 5, and so how many points are you losing?
Whoa.
Like,
hello.
5 power priest. Wow.
Now we're talking.
I think that was a pretty good priest.
That is juicy. Well, that's just a tiny little sad on my end, but not really. Now I just
yeah. On the other hand, you spent 5 coins at a low coin game.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Eric just paid a bunch for that, so whatever. And
I mean, you could even call it 8 coins maybe, because you could just take 7 coins action.
Although you're trying to entice me to give you more power now.
Yeah, so it did a few things. it stalled my action so that I'm enticing Darklings to upgrade center. It allowed. My other option, I was thinking about taking Water 2, but I think I much prefer having Fire 1 here over Water 2.
I will indulge you.
Hooray!
I mean, part of the problem is you're gonna. Yeah, I mean, you're clearly gonna dig next to me eventually too. So.
Yeah.
So 2 digs seems like it's mine no matter what, unless Ryan decides he wants it. Which is
Yeah,
why
that makes it yours.
I will
that
never
is-
take it as Darklings.
I know, but this could be the time.
It's not. I will never take it as Darklings. Just never.
And so I have a little time to do other stuff.
I guess never's a bit of a stretch. If I'm in round 6 and somehow blocking an opponent's double dig with my Darklings will give me the win, I'd do it. But pretty much outside of that scenario, I can never imagine I would take double dig as Darklings.
I mean, I think denying spades to the table at a crucial moment, or if you need a bunch of digs and don't have all the priests yet, I think those are maybe viable situations for it.
Yeah, there's probably other worlds, but God, it really is inefficient.
Go with power.
It is fun to see.
Without landscapes, I think I would guarantee Fire 1 there, but
it is fun to see, like, even though we all said that the track kind of sucks for scoring, we're all like, I don't think anybody's taking Earth 1 in round 1. At least Eric was talking about Fire 1. I also, for the record, plan Fire 1. I just think there's so few coins.
I figured let me take air 2. There's that'll be a worker in 4. Maybe I'll fight for the air, win the air cult, and diversify from you guys, and never have enough power with Fakir.
Yeah, I think it's fine for you.
Stronghold here, but I think just temple and doing a hard dig is probably what I want to do.
Mike's hard dig suggestion is going to come through.
Hey.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. And then I think I can maybe get the double spade next round.
Yeah.
Which seems like a good balance.
Indeed. As for Gray's comment that Water 2 Darklings are on the table, no, they're not. That's a lie.
Well, I will say this on behalf of chat. Boo.
When there's Ornn and Swarmlings in the game, I mean, like, I guess Water 2 will help me pick up second places or third places against Fakirs, but, like, I'm not fighting Ornn and Swarmlings on the cults here, realistically. If this was a game with a lot less culty factions, I might actually think about Water 2. It could be reasonably fun, but I really do need workers, so I probably take them here, even though I don't think anybody's interested in them. I guess I don't have anything else to do either besides build a dwelling. Well, actually, I maybe should just build a dwelling. I just don't think there's any world where Mike's taking workers instead of just double digging. And he can't do both. And so if I dig now, I probably pick up an extra power off of you.
I will be at 7-5. Close. I know that Lumen will be giving me stronghold power, but not quite enough to guarantee both of those actions if I wanted them. I don't.
Yeah.
The main reason 2 workers would be to mess with Ryan, which I don't really need to do.
I think you just have to double dig here was my read, but
yeah, and
you
if I
could
do
prove me
this
wrong.
now, I can get a little extra power from Lumen.
Yeah.
So let's do that.
Well, that was my read, I guess, exactly, right? So, like, this is something I've occasionally point out and probably should more often, but, like, at higher levels, like, trying to maximize your leech gain is quite important. So, like, I kind of sense that Mike would double dig and build that dwelling because he's going to get extra leech off Lumen, and so by building my dwelling here first, I just picked up an extra power instead of giving Mike one more power. And, like, those early exchanges of who's getting, like, even just that incremental extra power is meaningful.
Right, and timing for that too. And to that end, I'm sending a priest before doing all my upgrades.
Yep. Hey, Weber. Thanks for tuning in. One of the advantages too, it looks like, of you taking that spade tile and taking the priest is that you're going to deny it to the table for another whole round, which definitely slows down Fakir's and Orin.
Yeah, maybe my 4 power favor will help me get a dig action next round.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys still are gonna probably get digs and it's gonna work, but both of your ideal situations is almost certainly to pass on to that spade tile, and it's just not gonna be an option. So. Right. Hello, friend. All right, now comes the question, can I take the coins and the workers? I mean, the answer is yes. The question is if any of you are going to take the workers on the wheels somehow. Seems like that answer is no, but I guess I take the workers first because it also seems like none of you can take the coins on the wheel.
Well, I'm giving Eric 2 power here, so he'll be at 6-1.
Have to burn down to 4 to do that.
That'll be the trade-off for him. Yeah, it's a possibility if we think the game is that coin tight.
We've also talked about some spade tightness, so
Yep, everything's tight.
let's see. I'm probably passing last no matter what, so I might as well delay things even longer. Yeah.
Oof, starving. So,
Are you taking the ship tile just so you can open double dig next round? Or you think you get it either way?
Well, I think Lumen's gonna threaten it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna take it.
well,
and I also think like I'll have an extra priest.
you're getting 3 power from Ryan this round, though.
Yeah, but that's
Might
not
be
enough still.
That leaves me
overkill.
just short. Yeah.
He needed to take that power tile to guarantee double dig.
Oh yeah, now you're fully loaded. Okay, yeah, it looks good.
So yeah, it's good. And then like a backup plan too is I can just advance my shipping next round. Like I'll have a decent number of coins, and I can like send one priest to a cult, and then use the other one to advance shipping and get some points there.
Gray, I do care about losing H7 to Swarmlings, but I actually don't care that much. Maybe I should have secured it first, because admittedly nobody was taking this blue over here, but I'm content with what I've done.
I'll take the 2 workers here, planning to maybe hard dig and keep it out of someone else's hands. Like you guys both love that.
Yeah, I was pretty sure you were going to do that, because that's the sort of person you are, although I'm really, to be honest, I'm actually surprised you just don't take 3 coins and like
Well,
4
I can
points
probably
there.
get the coin action to open. And that will be very nice for him.
Is that enough though?
You still need tons of coins this game, and you also could have like 3 or 4 points on top of it. Like I get it. You're a bit more of a blocky player than I am. I would have let.
That's not a bad thing, to be
It's
fair.
not.
Kevin.
Yeah, correct.
I
It's
do
not.
think that
Picking up 2/3
I do
of
think
the
that 2
big
workers
goes
is
with-
totally fair too, because it so like if your next round's plan is to build a temple and then
Yes. No,
you
you're
pick up
correct.
all
Like
your workers,
it's
so
totally
yeah.
fine.
Or
Yeah.
that, yeah, or that.
Because I do actually think you have a pretty sweet game here, Mike. Right, to build a temple next round and then fly to I7 or something like that.
And threats of a dig if I feel like I should dig.
Yeah.
Anyhow, though, yeah, Gray. Broadly, I just think I'm gonna have enough digs this game that even if Swarmlings cut me off from H7, I just really don't think this is that important. I might beat Orin to this Gray. Even just digging these hexes, while painful, is not the end of the world. Bridging is not the end of the world. So I don't know. It might have been wrong. I was getting greedy because I really did want a coins action here. I think coins actions are just gonna be really important throughout the whole game, and so the more of them I can get, the better.
So my predicament here is if I send a priest to a cult, or if I just double dig, and I think I probably just double dig.
Yeah, seems right.
Moving all the stuff.
And then my predicament
I do.
is going to be if I kind of want to send the priest to Earth because a lot of coins are good, but yeah, I think it's wrong. I do think I'm
Same
supposed to just
thing.
build another dwelling.
It's my turn to decide that too, and I wonder if Lumen would ever take coins that he doesn't really need right now, but probably would.
I never want to build a sanctuary here. Never
I'll
would do
just take
that.
coins then.
All right, pretty sure Lumen is not going to take H7 this round at all. I just don't think there's actually a threat on that hex that's real, because I think Lumen always.
Oh my god, I'm an idiot.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I the plan was completely to take water 4-step. What am I doing in this world?
Oh yeah, I didn't even. I looked down and part of my
Yeah, I
whole
was.
thought was like I was gonna have to
Wow.
decide between priest to earth because Swarblings would do it in
Yeah,
my
me
build. But then,
too.
I
I'm
looked
just.
down and saw you didn't have a priest, and that's why I took the double spade.
What the heck did I do?
Uh-oh.
Well,
Time to
sucks
pivot.
for me.
Priest to Earth probably is wrong for me.
Time
It's
to
one of those
pivot.
situations again. I can just build another work or just get another dwelling down.
This is why I'm not expert right now.
These all-player commentaries can get tricky to play in sometimes, right? Because we talk about everybody's game, and then you have to like half keep your game plan in mind and focus on it while also trying to like offer commentary on the whole table. So I get it, but yeah.
Okay. Well, if I take 2 workers, I can still get my sanctuary out. Yeah, that wouldn't be the end of the world.
Anyhow, Ghostly, so the answer to your question appears to be Lumen probably should have just gone Temple Water 1 and not built the dwelling, I guess, is where we're at.
Yeah,
But
yeah, absolutely. I'd rather have a priest than 2 points and a worker, I think.
I think so too, but yeah.
And I think I had enough power to just burn 3, take a worker, and do both.
And just build a dwelling anyhow, yeah. That does seem reasonable too, but yeah, good start for Orin. Nerdcube's proven why he bid them. I mean,
Good start for Fakirs too. So I'm
yeah.
a little bit regretful of not bidding them more.
To be fair, it is also quite a strong Darkling start. I'm not complaining about really what's happened either. It's just, did I pay too much? Very conceivably,
Just
but
thinking about what to do with that priest. I'm going to say I want air cult, and that's it.
there you go, Swarmling's friend. There you go.
Thanks. What am I going to do with it?
I don't know, but it's yours.
Thanks.
Want the 3 spot on fire here also.
Yep. Seems good.
I was debating advancing shipping just because it gets me 3 points, and I want to do it probably next round anyways. But I think taking that 3 spot before Swarmlings get a priest and is pretty
Seems right.
good.
All right, team. I have literally 3 good pass tiles, which is fun. 4 coins and like 4 points is good. 3 coins and a dig is also just like, I guess it's just a 9 digs from the table. Priest and coin, never mind. After I laid out the options, it's really not that hard. 4 coins and 4 points is just better. I guess the difference is I could get more digs done next round, but nobody's taking my brown or blue hex in the bottom right. I'm not digging anything else next round. So, yep, all right. It was actually easy.
Yeah, big economy for Ryan, which is, we expected that for Darklings.
I mean, we were still bidding on Darklings because Darklings are really good, and yeah, I mean, I have Sanctuary 4 Dwellings out at the end of round 2. I'm opening next round with another coins action. It is pretty good life. I do have basically no cult economy, but in a game where I'm not expected to get much cult points anyhow, it's fine. I do still get 2 coins off Earth Track next round, so.
I'm thinking if I should take a power action here. I will just do this first. I don't think I'll be fancy. I'll just take the one there, Earth.
Yeah, I mean, taking Earth 1 seemed pretty clear. I was about to say, did Lumen go Earth 1, but he took Water 1 thus far, which...
I mean, I could take Earth 1 here. The problem is that Water 1's or Air 1's like guaranteed 15, and Earth 1's like
Well,
10.
so again, this loops to the interesting choice, though. Because of this track, if you're going to build a temple in round 5 anyhow, how many points of
True.
Air 1 are you losing if you delay it to round 5? I guess quite a few, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think it's as big of a difference as it usually is. And
Fair.
you're
And
fine.
denying Earth 1 to, what is it, Orin right now could be valuable. Orin have the best map situation.
Yeah, although I don't even know if it's that valuable either. I don't know if Nerdkeep really cares, right? He's already going to have 6 structures at the end of this round,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
he might just prefer Water 1 as well at this point.
Right, and if Earth 1 is there in round 5, then maybe that's like 4 or 5 points for me then, and I still get 20 out of the pair.
Yeah, I agree. I think either Air 1 here or Earth 1 is defensible.
So Lumen's done. I think he's done it for the round. Could take a priest. If I pass now, I probably get 2 digs. So I'm thinking about a trading post here just to balance out the economy a little, but I know those are frowned upon. So it is a dig round coming up. I feel like passing for shovel is pretty good. 3 coins.
And I'm very happy to see that so I can get my 8
Yeah,
points.
I get him 8 points. If I stick around, maybe it hurts Lumen a little.
He might just take a priest, right? I mean, I don't think he would care too badly about taking a priest there before passing.
Well, I could have taken priest action. I could have flown one.
Well, my power situation is better for digging if I don't do anything.
Correct. You didn't really want to, so I guess, yeah, fair enough. It still helped him, but... I mean, again, ultimately, like, so at the end of round 2 here, everybody looks to have largely achieved what they wanted to, so it really is kind of coming down to who had the right bid, and I don't know. I still lean a little bit, like I'm a little concerned I paid 20 points over a Fakir's that opened double dig into this, over Orin that opened like 3, they have 3 priests on cults already and a bunch of dwellings. Like, it's not clear, but I'm also Darklings with Sanctuary, 4 dwellings, and opening next round with a coins action. Like, I feel, this is a great Darklings game, but do I need to take coins first action? Yes, everybody wants coins.
This one is happening, and I think it's here for some new places to go and get some power from Eric.
Well, hello, friend.
Neat.
I mean, I think you do need that hex pretty soon, but that's just my gut feel.
Okay, Gray, you have a decent point. Swarmlings have a slight...
I'm behind on where I want it to be, for sure.
That's true. Swarmlings are slightly behind. That's a good call. I guess Eric just got blocked from the 2 power actions he most would have cared about this round, probably too. So, slight bummer for him.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
My
I've got
only,
a cool thought.
I was gonna say, my only issue this round is I kind of wanted to go Temple for Water 1, but I'd also like to build 2 dwellings, so I'm short 1 worker of the dream, but
So here's my thought process, because I think this is potentially an important action. If Mike builds E2, I think he gives Lumen enough power to finish his town this round. I'm not sure exactly. I'm struggling to do math while talking, but I think that might be enough power to finish a town this round and take the 2 key town. But if I take the single spade, I think that might no longer be true.
Correct. So I am putting a little pressure on you to take the worst dig for you. Though I guess if you're planning on digging twice this round, you could still hard dig.
Well, so the question is just if you're going to be able to get this town. So if you take a single spade right now, right now you can't take the single spade to finish your town.
Right. So my idea is that I'm banking on you not wanting to waste 4 coins that way.
I'm gonna point out.
I have priest second send to get power.
I'm also going to point out that I am at least building a trading post this round, and I'm very willing to build it next to Lumen Sanctuary if I think it, if I think I can impact the game state in my preference.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm going to do this and see what happens. I was trying to see if I needed to take a single spade there.
Yeah, so this gets tricky. Lumen really wants to build that dwelling and get 2 key town. I think I would prefer. I think Orin having 2 key town is just not good for me.
To get the 2 key town. I have not played the track at all.
Yeah, you kind of need it. Your points are bad. I don't know if I care to get involved, I guess, is really the point. Lumen is on it's really hard actually to tell who's better off here.
I mean, Mike hasn't been disrupted one bit, which is part of being on the right part of the color
First
wheel.
move, not getting it that brown in the middle definitely is not ideal, but
you're gonna survive just fine though.
That's okay. Yeah.
Well, and this partly comes back down to what Mike's doing next action too, right? Like if Mike just builds, Lumen does have it now.
Right, whether or not you upgrade next to me.
Probably, yeah. We'll
so
see.
do I want to? Well, I mean, Mike can always fly. Yeah, it's really weird. Both Mike and I have decisions on do we want to. I think the problem is if Orin gets 2 key town, I think you just kind of crush the cults largely. And I think if Lumen gets 2 key town, it looks like you two just kill each other on cults, like have to fight the rest of the game. And I think I'd rather watch you two fight.
That's probably fair, yeah. So I think that probably kills the game for me. Like most of my game plan was just getting.
I'm gonna give him the full power too. I like making Lumen pay the full 4 for 3 as well, because I don't know. With Swarmling, you don't want to be paying so many points for this stuff.
He's
yeah,
paid
this
a,
is a lot.
He's paid a lot for Leech in a game where he's not going to get a lot of track points, and his call
it makes
points
your round
aren't even
longer.
Yeah.
Like in general, it makes you have a longer round, which
I kind of think I agree with Eric too, though. The fact that he's not getting the 2 key town's a bit tough for his Orin game. So I think it might just kind of come down to Fakirs and Darklings, but I don't totally know. Like again, games are fluky. Like
I'm not completely sure I want the 2 key town.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I want it.
Oh yeah. You don't.
So EJ, I'll admit, like it's entirely possible that if there wasn't this much open talking, not all of us would have noticed the implications of what was going on. Although the race for the 2 key town was clear to me. It just depends on how long I would have sat thinking about my move and actually noticing all the interaction there. it's the sort of thing where it is that type of move, I think, that makes the international clash quite exciting, because with so many experts in the table able to like focus on so many facets, I do think we've seen just a generally higher level of play in the international clash. We haven't seen any stinkers of games yet. Every team has played like strong games. The losers are losing by 11 victory points or something, right? Like, I mean, it's not huge margins. Nobody's having like a terrible fail of a game. And there's some really interesting interactions going around the table. Um,
Can you throw on those income displays, Ryan? I don't want to click the button myself.
Lumen, what is this? You're trying to sabotage me?
No, I just don't want to click that button myself. That's all.
So you're gonna watch my stream?
I mean, I'm in your chat anyway.
Yeah. Can you spend 3,000 to turn them back off? I didn't turn that on because I don't know how I felt about people just throwing their channel credits back and forth. It sounds kind of fun, but it sounds kind of annoying for a lot of people. I don't know. I guess if I made the turn them off like double cost, maybe that'd be fine. So the channel credit reward is turned to only like twice per stream, I believe. So there is that limitation. But
I mean, the optimal timing for that channel reward is only twice per game, right? Like at the end of round 2 and at the end of round 3, or at the end of round 4,
correct, yeah.
because nobody needs it in round 6.
Yeah.
So these are what everyone needs to be thinking about, by the way. How to most inconvenience Ryan.
Yeah, indeed. I do have a kind of tough question here. If I do want the extra dwelling this round, or if I just want the Temple for Water 1. I still haven't actually decided.
I decide to fly to the north. Seems like the best place maybe to get a town and have a friendly neighbor. We'll see.
Yeah, I think that's correct. All right, what's left to do this round?
Dig.
Yeah, I mean, I have to dig. It's just, is it dig and build a dwelling, or is it...
Dig and hold.
Yeah, I think building the dwelling's right. It comes with an extra point. I kind of want the Temple for Water 1. More priests is good, but producing a couple coins for a round is fine. The awkward part is, like, I think I still build Temple Water 1 next round, which is one round before the Temple round, so don't love
Well,
that.
there might be a rush for them, right? I'm gonna have to decide if I want to, put it out first moves.
That's a good point, too. You're right.
Fakirs don't need it, and they don't build a lot of trading posts. But
Yeah, at the
maybe
same time, you will Sanctuary for Water 1, probably. Although you have very few coins. You're going to take
coins
a
might
coin.
be the
You would
priority.
take
Yeah.
a coin actions first if you're able to. I don't know. It's a great point. There is pressure on Water 1 too if I take that I just get rid of. But I think I'm just going to build a dwelling and I'll put it on myself. And if I get screwed, I get screwed. It's my own damn fault.
Yeah, I'll have a decision once we get there. I expect maybe some more power this round, but maybe not. Either way, nothing else for me to do. I could build a dwelling here, but I have enough of those out. I like priest 2 coins. I like maybe trading post scoring if I decide to build some of those, but priest 2 coins seems fine. Trading post pass also hurts Swarmling again.
I might have taken it actually. I also could. One option for me that I just realized was to actually just build a bunch of trading posts next round and then Temple Air 1. That would have actually not been terrible in this low coin of a game.
So Lumen has to overbuild in the west. That's not ideal, but it happens.
Yeah, it delays my second town a little, but I was always overbuilding significantly.
All right, but Oren blocked the trading post stream. Fair enough.
Yeah, I need to start getting points.
Yeah, I think that means I pass on to ship scoring and I debate advancing ships. Yeah, I've been sitting here for quite a while debating if I'm trying to connect this game or not. I'm probably supposed
You
to.
are in the questionable position, like, I mean, where that is a question.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably supposed to, but it's not like that obvious. I have slightly tough paths toward connection. It's like probably there if I commit to it, but it involves a lot of shipping, which is expensive, but it could come with points, so eh. But I also don't have that many priests because I haven't built the other temple yet. Lots of troubles. I mean, there's always coin towns, everybody, but oof.
That does sound pretty oof.
Yeah.
All right. So not only is that second priest to Earth just really nice for Eric, but it also um, implies that with him wanting to build Stronghold next round, to me it says that he's probably going to end up being the one winning Earth. It's the cult he's put so far the most effort into. I might rather send my last priest to Air here.
Rude.
Because, yeah, Mike doesn't want to spend priests on the cult. And workers are quite good for swarmlings. So that is my thinking through that.
That's pretty reasonable for you, yeah. I
Then I
mean,
have to.
you already have quite a few coins coming in here, right? And then you're gonna have more coins in 5.
Now, a silly thing that I'm not sure is actually a good idea, but I'm going to do anyway, is dig this brown once to black with work. No, this is 2 workers for 2 points? That can't be right.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm going to be advancing dig relatively soon.
Yeah.
All right, and then the last question is, do I want to convert 1 or 2 before passing? 2 lets me leech, but I'm never getting 1 for 0, so I don't need this 2 for 1s anymore.
So yeah, it looks like the 7 coin is more valuable to me than anything else. Not everyone gets those Earth Cult coins.
Yeah, I didn't either. I agree. I was also just gonna take more coins if you let me, but I didn't have high hopes of that. I mean, I also do have 16 coins, so like I guess, but they run out fast once you start talking temples and trading posts and
Here
ship advances and
comes
whatever.
Earth 1's still on the table. It's an interesting choice for Eric. I mean,
I
denying
was gonna say I
me
don't
and
think
that
it's an
water
interesting
one.
choice. Yeah, I think it's clear water.
Yeah, it's probably better to take the thing that people are maybe
Yeah, I
more
took the
interested in.
trading post tile. I have a bunch of drawings on the board. Like, I think I was relatively telegraphing my move.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was. I thought it was a very likely round of 2 of us were taking water, one of us was taking coins for the first 3 actions. I didn't know exactly what order it would be, but
Let's see. I have a single dig on my pass tile.
all right, team. Looking ahead, how much are you guys gonna yell at me if I take a coin town, everybody?
No judgment here.
All right, what's my income? What does this say? 6 workers, 4 coins. Okay. I think I want to just try for advanced digs this round. Which does make it a long round for me. Is that okay? I'm going to be in a longish round anyway. This is where I'd like to have a lot of time to think about how many moves each person has this round.
Yeah.
And live play, I don't have those senses.
I mean, to be honest, that's one of the things I think is really hard to do in live play. You can kind of eyeball it and be like, it's likely, 3 or 4. Or, you kind of have a loose, you can get a loose sense sort of like that, but I don't think you can really sit there and do a hell of a lot better than that.
So I think I decided I don't need a sanctuary this round. I could build it in 6, and I'd rather just fly around a little.
Yeah, no. Thanks, EJ, for thanks for the reminder in chat there. Yeah. All right, now let's say, Eric, give me them trading posts.
Here
Feed
you
me.
go.
I'm gonna feed fakirs though. Sorry.
Yeah. I am amenable to that.
Yeah. It's all you. All right. I think I lied, everybody. I think instead of a coin town, it's a coin town in disguise.
Not a shipping town.
Ship Town?
Yeah, I think it's a ship town. Yeah.
All right. I'll take a look at what Ryan can get
Disguise
to here.
indeed. Oh, if I was thinking more holistically, I probably just should have taken worker power instead of the shovel. What am I doing? Terrible decisions have been made.
Change.
The only thing I can say is like, well, also Eric's been very quiet, but like outside of that, like who's really like loving their position? Mike, I guess still. I'm pretty
Yeah,
happy with
Mike.
mine, but
Scoring some points.
I've been quiet because I don't love my position. If I love my position, you'll hear about it.
and he's chirping, yeah.
All right, fair enough. So it's Mike and I that are still like kind of content about things.
So
Yeah, I
Ryan
would
is
assume
now
so.
2 shipping, and I can see where he can go.
Yep, it's all you, buddy.
Do I care? I mean, if I'm thinking about a town in the north, I have to do something about it now. And he's got a priest, and he's got a lot of dwellings left. I'm gonna... Should I do this? I was also just thinking about passing here and taking some good stuff.
Yep, passing for the dwelling town, taking another coins action was what I was betting you were gonna do. But you are welcome to do whatever you
my
want.
other idea is hard dig the gray in the north, and the dream of connecting along the top without having to take a ship
Oh, without having to take
town,
H-Town.
which there's only one left, by the way. Those can easily go.
Yeah, that's so that is actually the other fun of me taking a ship town. I agree. Like I make it hard.
I'm still just gonna take a bunch of points though.
I think you should. To be fair, I also don't think I actually care to mess with you then, right? Like, as long as you seed that one yellow to me on B4, I don't.
I seed nothing.
Well, I'm sorry to tell you that it's mine, but like as long as you give me B4, I don't really care, right? So.
And there's the emergency stronghold in 6 if I need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we have enough money for it.
Yeah.
I think I should have converted one more power because he's flying up there.
Well, so I'm in a slightly tricky spot about where to go.
Yeah, you can take the high road or the low road. That's a good point.
Well, correct. I can try to connect south. I probably should just go north. But the other tricky thing is Eric is still sitting here with one shipping. Hasn't built that green, and I kind of do need B5 as well. I can crazily still pay for a third shipping here and just
You could.
take b5 and then take b4 and be like pretty safe. And the third shipping is pretty good points here too, but I don't know what I want to do because I mean you're not going to give me a coins action. Like you're clearly going to open coins again next round. I don't think there's any world where that's not true.
I took this 2 air for a reason.
Yeah. It's secretly 3.5 coins.
Yeah. So I mean, on some level, just paying for the shipping here is probably fine because I think I always need a third shipping to connect. So it's pretty good points. You just don't have the resources to like really mess with me too much. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm converting a bunch of power to coins. That's all it's ever gonna be anyhow. So
Debating if I should, if you built B3 or something, I could like 3 power to a worker and take C4.
that was
I don't think I was gonna do it, but that was like
that's the threat, right?
possible.
That's what I'm reacting to here. I
Yeah.
agree. I kind of wanted to just build B3 and assume that I could just go B4, B5 next round, but the problem is exactly that. You could 3 power to a worker here, build that dwelling, and then you could steal B5 on me, and life gets tricky at that point, because then there's still, what, that red D6 I could triple dig, but... Ugh.
Yeah.
Or I could still just go south at that point, but... Anyhow,
So I'm not getting a third town, but that's okay.
anyhow, Ghostly, the perilous connection run is really not that perilous, actually, is the good news. It's actually just, like, there. Alright, I haven't been paying attention. What does Lumen have left to do?
I have my Swarmlings action unused.
Well, that seems pretty clear then.
Priest to air is worker 2 coin.
Yep.
I conceded. I decided I can't get into a war with Swarmling on the cults, and I don't even have a town yet.
Yeah.
But I made him work for it. Kinda.
Well, I paid a lot of points for the leech, but
yeah,
it's partially my fault.
All right, you remember much earlier this game, guys, when I talked about how few track points like Swarmlings and Fakir, or I don't even remember who, just everybody. Turns out I'm also going to get like no track points. I don't think I can afford another temple this round. Not that I'm on the trading post tile anymore. Like it's just just doesn't really work.
I'm about to take this sweet round 5 Earth 1.
I kind of thought.
No, that's my round 5 Earth 1.
I kind of thought that was going to happen though. Yeah, that part is fun.
Yeah, I'm still gonna just do that. See what happens.
I mean, why wouldn't you? Yeah.
Mute for a second, sorry.
All good.
Okay, it was never my round 5 Earth 1. Yeah, it's gonna be a good one for you. Maybe 8 or 10, something around that.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe even 12. Actually, I didn't look at your board yet, but you have
pretty
plenty.
Good. All I have to say is once again, like Eric, just looking at his points and his position, he doesn't like it. But I am not convinced of who's won or lost this game at all yet.
I'm doing okay. I don't know. I see Mike with 56 points and 16 coins and 14 workers and 4 priests, and I'm a little jealous.
I hear you. I agree. That's probably too much. He probably still has 2 towns incoming.
I don't know where the second one is. I mean, you could
You can
do it
do
up
something
north,
about it.
but it's expensive.
It's tough for me. I can't mess with it that easily.
Yeah, and I'm not map situated to use all my extra workers on disruption, which is too bad. Would really like to.
There are still, I mean, there are still a lot of yellows that haven't been taken yet, right? I guess some of them can get taken soon, but like,
Yeah, I'm just not in the right place to do it.
yeah. Um,
That said, I am holding the ship pass tile. I have enough coins, power, and
Ju-
supply to just use it all on ship advances.
Just to reply to you, George, I don't even know if some people I think aren't actually aware of this, but because Fakir is of course needed to be nerfed even further, Mike can't fully advance digs because he's Fakir's. You can only partially advance dig as Fakir's. It'd be much too good if Fakir's would be overpowered clearly if they could fully advance digs. So you gotta nerf them in every conceivable way. The most expensive strongholds, the worst starting power, the only faction that can't fully advance digs.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Known facts of Terra Mystica right here.
Very important to keep them in check like that. All right, it appears we're in one of those dumb rounds where we all have to stall out forever. So one of us is a loser, and that means I take this slow.
I'm right behind you, and you have the trading post tile.
Yep, seems good for you.
And yeah, that is the good thing about Swarmlings in this position.
Honestly, I think my only real hope is to like get Eric's tile, and to be honest, I don't even really know if I want it. But I guess it's better than passing. Well, passing first does just come with the coins action, but yeah, no pass points is not my dream.
I should figure out what my temple is and what my town is and how those synergize. Probably just the cult town. Yeah. Well, I know I want to do this.
All right, how many resources does Eric have? Not a lot. Okay.
yeah, it's looking like I'm gonna lose the battle.
It's also just like, is it safe for me not to build on this black hex? And my answer is yes, you're not crazy enough to do anything about it.
Hey, I resent you calling me not crazy.
Okay. Sorry, Mr. 650 rating and, you know, top 3 arena for like 4
I
seasons
took
in a
Orin at
row.
30. I took Orin at 30 here. I might be crazy still.
Look, I get it. Your game's not fully on track, and yet you have pretty good cult points, some network. None of us are like smashing the points. I don't know. You're probably behind, but I'm still not like that convinced of anything in this game.
Yeah, it's unclear to me too.
One of the tough decisions I'm working on still is if I'm supposed to be setting up 3 towns or if I'm supposed to just 2 town. The 3rd town is obviously like pretty there if I wanted to go for it. But it does involve taking a fire too, and I'm also contesting network. And it also feels like a real shame to take fire 2 in the final round rather than right now when it comes with an extra temple point. So I haven't quite figured out that path for myself.
I could take the ship town here, given that I'm holding ship pass. That would give me enough resources to temple an advanced ship one more time.
I don't actually know if it's correct, but I vote that option so Mike doesn't get a range town and has to build the glorious stronghold next round.
On the other hand,
No, there's no other hands. I just told you.
oh, I'm sorry.
Blocking Mike. Sounds no. Go ahead, continue.
I could have 7 points, a priest, and 4 coins, but those priest and 4 coins are really nothing because I can have those guaranteed next round. All right.
Oh gosh, everybody, we're in round 5. These income displays don't have to be on anymore. Oh, what was I doing? That channel reward has ended. All right.
All right. Let me find out if Mike is planning to air 3. Seems to be no.
Well,
Well, not yet.
he'd have to do it with his sanctuary, right? He has no temples left, so
Yeah.
it does seem pretty silly to build a sanctuary this round. Although I guess it guarantees him the range town, which he
At this point,
probably,
that might be worth something.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, okay, Eric. We have our cult agreements.
All right. There you go, Eric. There's some stuff for you.
Ugh, do I want that?
I don't know.
I don't know. There's probably a network race.
I'm just winning network. Don't. That's.
Yeah, waste your resources on fighting network. Yeah.
I mean, Fakir's actually might be winning network. I have no idea, but stay out of the network fight. Yeah, that's not what I want to hear.
I am returned. What did I miss?
Lumen wants to win air cult.
That's happening.
he wasn't sure if
Yeah,
you're gonna
but,
air
like-
3 on him, so he yeah.
But
I don't know the
water's
crowd yet.
actually slightly
Oh.
more contested. Actually, Eric just doesn't have enough keys. We're gonna split 2 and 2 pretty much no matter which way it breaks. I think.
Eric only has 1 key at the moment too.
Right, like he's not gonna get 3 keys this game.
You would think not.
So, and I'm gonna have enough stuff to just take down the cult of my choice if I need to.
So, cults. Those are a thing. Priest to cults prolong the round and give me 2 coins. That's less ability to fly around. I'm deciding if I should just build on this red and be safe about it. I don't think people have extra stuff to mess with it. Points wise, it's pretty much the same. Sorry. Get another second. I will upgrade first.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I've been the slowest here, at least per move.
Yeah.
Eric,
takes-
what's that about?
Yeah. Everybody
Okay,
wants a priest to
so
stay in the round.
I
It's
am-
kind of just a stall.
As I say, I think I'm losing the race on staying in the round, is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
I can trading post, take a priest town, dig. That's actually quite a few moves. Maybe Mike loses the race. It's really ugly. So I did start to realize that if I was gonna be able to stall out Eric, that I actually could 3-town without Fire 2, and that sounded like the best path of everything. But I think that dream is once again dead. So I think I accept that I'm only 2-towning, although is 2-towning winning this game? And maybe if I get a pass tile, it's fine. Just not sure I have enough points either.
Okay.
Lumen,
Watch out, everyone. My 2-ship can go so far.
he's going places.
Yeah, you have a lot of ways to go. No, I mean, yeah, it's
If I think Ryan's the threat, a priest here might be worthwhile.
bold strategy.
Oh, he's getting a little crowded up there. Nice to see. Well, you devil.
I mean, you forced me to stall. Like, I that's why I said it was a bold strategy. Like, I thought for sure you were gonna sense like what was coming. Like,
And then there's this.
yeah, exactly. Like, you're losing so much by staying in this round and
I
doing these
couldn't
things.
reach that one anyway.
Nah, that's true. You don't have a range down yet.
Yeah, not with that attitude.
We won't give up. Do your worst.
Well, CS, if you were playing this game, you could be the one testing the bug right now.
Yeah, I'm not touching. I'm not touching whatever foul things you want me to.
Oh yeah, also we can definitely test that one. Definitely, we're playing a landscapes game. Yep, we can definitely test that one.
Yeah, Andrew, come on, buddy. Come on, get your head in the game. All right.
Look at Fakirs. Do they have a landscape out? No, then it's probably not a landscapes game. Wow.
All right.
Nice trying this new
Lumen,
strat of vanilla fakirs.
Lumen, I'm helping you.
Oh yeah, let me get there really quick.
Yeah.
I'm clicking on it. It says I can't transform. No, I don't want to transform it. I want to go there.
That sounds like a bug.
Stupid game. Let's see. No one else cares about the hexes I can reach. So this is technically a Darkling's hex now.
Yes.
Actually, I don't like the sound of that.
It's okay. I'm not too worried about finding enough black hexes. Maybe I should be, but I don't think I am.
So if I don't pass, if I do pass, then everyone else gets point stuff. If I pass, I could take priest, which is kind of like 4 points for me, and ensure I fix that town situation up there that Ryan so rudely created for me.
Again, I'm gonna say that you created that for yourself.
I know I could have just built there, but
yeah, then yeah, gonna loop to you created that yourself.
let's think about what happens if I don't.
I mean, it's also like one of those things too. Like, I kind of agree with you that I still think slowing you down is probably important, especially if I'm hurting your network. Because I'm trying to tie you on network. Now, I think you might still just be beating me on network. I'm not sure. It's messy.
Well,
and Eric is still trying to win networks. I don't like any of that. But
now that you dug that hex away, there's no way I'm winning network.
that was kind of my opinion.
Probably wasn't going to anyways. Yeah.
That was kind of my thought.
I was hoping you'd take G4 instead.
I might have just made a big error here, but
I
We'll see.
was attempting to just block everybody a little. That was really the plan.
We'll see. We'll see.
I'm just gonna continue building stuff.
This seemed reasonable. I will get the hell out of here because I don't actually want to build a bridge. I was ready to build a bridge if Mike told me I had to, but
And do I want to spend one worker to get that tile instead? Spend one worker, get a worker, give Eric a better tile. Sounds pretty washy to me.
doesn't sound like you care much, I agree, but all right, so Gray, are you still watching? You remember when you said swarm lanes kind of look behind? What's happened? What did we allow to occur?
I mean,
I mean,
how is
to be
anyone
fair,
getting in the way
they're
of
getting.
Swarm lanes probably still are behind, I guess, but
Yeah, I mean, Swarmlings still like have their cult game exactly locked up, right? Nothing left to achieve there. They're not getting another town. They already advanced their digging. They already advanced their shipping. They can't
yeah.
slow
So they
down
have
the
ship.
track.
So they have ship points, water 1 points, pass points, extra resources. That's 105, 110 ish. Cults 1. Still mid 130s. Is mid 130s winning?
Like it's a good game, but it's not like
it's not amazing.
It's not
And if
amazing.
I figured out my round one better, it could have been better. But
Mid 130s might win. I really don't know.
I mean, I think
I mean,
remember
all
when
I
you
had
said
lost
you
was an
liked my
extra.
game, Ryan? That's what I want to know about.
Yeah. You completely ran out of points. I didn't judge it well.
Yeah, I would like to state that I was never on Team Orin here.
He just got like such easy hexes for a while and like nice town space that it seemed for some reason in my world that it was going well. I get coins. I don't really need coins.
What are you going to do with the power? Take a priest?
I think I just take a priest and allow myself to be more annoying by digging Mike's hexes, which are very important to me to win network.
Oh, you've done enough.
I'm assuming you're not building a stronghold, right? You're just up and down 4 dwellings.
Correct. I mean, so the earlier world, if I had got your pastel, I did plan to build a stronghold, and I had plans on how to make what I thought would have been 3 towns without fire too, although this north got uglier than I thought, so it probably is for the best that I didn't go for it. Yeah, so I mean, coins is just an extra point. Priest is also just turning resources into a point, but also a dig. So I guess, yeah, the priest has to be better. What does the coins do for anybody? Lumen just takes them as resources. Eric actually kind of needs them. Maybe he gets them in some world that I'm not seeing. Do I care though? No, I don't care. All right.
Pretty sure I just take them for a point.
Question for the panel: do Mike and Lumen like the lakes map?
Yes.
The map itself, not really. Do I like the arena season? Yes. And that's because I like landscapes a lot.
Gotcha.
The having landscapes is enough for me to be playing it, compared to last season where it was a map I don't know and no landscapes.
Okay, gotcha. Also, Gray, looping back, I see you did comment. Yeah, going way back in the game where Mike and I chose to help Lumen get the 2-key town. That maybe I was supposed to just let Eric get it. Sorry, buddy.
Oh, that's fair. I think I got.
I mean,
yeah,
we both
got
ended up
blocked a
winning
little
2
bit last game.
cults.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the 2 key town was fairly important for me though, just in terms of like it would have given me more immediate resources to build more
Fair.
stuff. I probably would win 3 cults. Like it was a
Okay.
decently
Yeah.
big value flip for me.
Yeah, I think so
Um,
too. But admittedly, yeah, and again, as we said too before, like games can be a little fluky, swingy, depending on who's taking what when, and who knows. If you get two
And
key town and the pastels break a little better for you, maybe also have the same opinion that maybe Lumen's game looks so much worse that I wish I had given it to Lumen instead.
right, there's that possibility. And maybe I was just sandbagging round 1 on purpose so that I would be helped to get the 2 key town. No one can prove otherwise.
Nothing too appealing for my favor except this. To decide on this.
Excellent. No cult darklings oh wait, no water cult. 2 points on the cults. Boom.
how sure are you getting that? Mike has 5 priests.
I got 5
Actually,
priests.
yeah, that's
And I might
true.
not have much to do with them.
That's true, and I just
Potentially.
told him that I was gonna block his dwelling so I could win network. Okay.
I'll take some workers, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
never mind.
Ryan, you really have to figure out how to sandbag better.
Well, scored some points there.
Give me some cult points, Mike. Don't steal my water cult.
Yours.
That's how I viewed it, but admittedly, yes, I've put literally 0 priests to the cults and 0 effort in them. I've taken Earth 1, Water 1, Fire 1, just like the minimal amount of cult steps I could achieve this game.
Yeah, not getting that jump is a bummer, but that's okay.
Yeah, so in terms of like as a Snellman player, that's something I view Live and Snellman as 2 quite different games. The amount of thinking power I can provide to all my moves there is a lot, and I really like that way of playing Terra Mystica. And then Live, I really like most how no faction is a terrible throw into an auction in a landscapes game. And that's just a matter of preference.
Yep. I still am all for if they would ever actually like listen and be willing to make like a V2 Terra Mystica with very small tweaks. There's a couple things, and then yes, I would be very happy if Fakirs and Orin and Giants were slightly more playable on average.
Mm-hmm.
Just yeah.
But the game is already so well balanced. The fact that we're complaining about things on this level is a pretty good sign for the game.
Yeah.
So I do want to put that out there that there are way worse balanced games that need a lot more help than this one does.
Yeah.
And if we do want to nerf or buff things, it should be very small changes because ecosystems like this are, I think you kind of balance them on luck more than a ton of playtesting.
Completely agreed, right? Like a lot of the most balanced games at top levels, like I mean, Terra Mystic, I think is just kind of fluky how balanced it is. Like the designers are not actually like that strong of players. They don't really fully understand these systems they're creating. They make something that looks kind of good enough. Experts really dive into it, and it turns out to be remarkably close. I like for Gaia Project, right? Like I think when it first came out, people were going to be like, "Oh, it's more balanced. They've had more experience." Like, no, I think it's just as. I think it possibly is arguably worse. Right? Like,
Sure, yeah, I would. Yeah,
I,
there's less like formal play on it, which means you can't really tell.
It's harder to say, yeah.
But so, like what I'm currently hearing from experts is stuff like ITARs are too good and ball talks seem playable in a lot of situations. Like and then
Atlantids
Lantids
are
and Gleams I don't hear much about ever, which can't be a good sign.
yeah,
So
exactly. So I agree. Like at least thus far, Gaia Project seems about as iffy, right? And it's also quite good too. Like I'm not trying to knock it. And then yeah, one of the tricky parts we've started to realize over time too is like even in what we like for Darkly, like Mend, right? We used to think engineers were so good. And then as time and the meta developed and people tried like counter strategies, it's like, oh, well, actually. And so like I think there's just a lot of I think there's still some of that being explored in Terra Mystica too. Swarmlane's doing, these G6 H4 starts in certain matchups and etc. Like I agree. The balance of the ecosystem is so tricky. Players have some tools to try to enforce balance themselves throughout the games. So
Hmm.
yeah.
That is, you and I were talking about this recently, Ryan. That like that's one of the things that's kept my interest in Terra Mystica for so long is like the fact that we as players are still getting better. Like the meta is evolving. Like it wasn't just like they put out this game and we figured it out within a year. It's like what 8 9 years later, whatever, and G6 Swarmlings came into play. Like
Right. Yeah, and like the TM tour has been active that whole time.
Yep.
yeah,
Absolutely agree.
chat is asking why you don't like landscapes, Ryan.
Oh, chat actually needs me to
I
explain.
mean, it's like part being a traditionalist, which is fine, and then like the rules are sketchy, right? And it just you could
Yeah.
argue it changes the balance instead of helps it.
Yeah, so broadly, yeah, Lumen kind of nails my main. It's less to do with the fact that I think they maybe sort of help improve balance. I don't know, like they at least take the weak factions out of kind of unplayable-ish territory. Except again, we have auction nowadays. But yeah, the main complaint is actually I just don't think they're well tested. I think their rules are really like as part of my complaint like is borne out by the results we've seen. Like we've learned that Mermaid's landscape wasn't what we thought. The Dwarves landscape wasn't what we thought. Like the rules are really sketchy and they're not well developed and thought out. I think prereqs are ugly. I think like we added all these extra rules onto a game that's I don't know. Most of the rest of the game I can like know just by knowing. And yes, digitally I can look up what the landscape does. So maybe in a digital world I can live with landscapes more. But again, I'm still like this weird traditionalist that I view a lot of what I'm doing in Terra Mystica in terms of I'm practicing for playing in real life. And I think landscapes in real life are super annoying. Like you basically have to have a printout of the instructions and everybody needs to read what theirs does before the game until you get to the point where everybody has a lot of experience. But they're just clunky and
Yeah, I think that's the biggest
some
thing
of
for me
them
is
are
like
terrible
they.
too. Like I really like how they offer up some new avenues for certain factions, but then other factions they completely fail at that. So anyhow, go ahead, Eric.
There's just something weird about them that like this is like a weird complaint, but it's uh it feels like an expansion in a bad way. You know, it doesn't feel like a core part of the game. It feels tacked on and like uh you know like they were added after the fact and you know some of them do feel like they're this good core interesting part of the game. Like I don't know, like the alchemist one is a good example I think of like it feels somewhat core in that they wanted them to have this identity of like picking between their powerful stronghold and building a temple, but how do they get priests, but then their stronghold gives them this ability to like you know get priests early if they don't build a temple, but then they don't have an ability to score points, right? So that like it like feels like it fits into the ecosystem of alchemists really well. But then some of them like witches, it's like that just feels like someone rolled a die and then came up with a rule. Like you know,
Well,
it doesn't feel remotely like.
and to be fair, that is essentially what they did, right? Like they solicited
Yeah.
ideas. They solicited ideas on BGG forums from anybody, and they somehow just picked whatever one sounded good. Is basically what they did. And I do think that's part of why the rules weren't that clear either, right? Like if you dive deep into the thread on mermaids, you can see that the designer intended it to work how it now does, but like the way they printed up the rules, like I don't know, like we
It
all
doesn't
thought
say that
yeah,
necessarily.
we all thought it was fine the other way. Like it all seemed to make sense, but
So
Yeah,
there's something
that's
like
true.
I still haven't played merchants for example, but like watching the rules video for it doesn't excite me because it feels like this whole like weird, it's like a different game. I don't know, it's like it feels like this weird other tacked on system. So I have a pet peeve for like expansions that like feel super tacked on instead of feeling like they were part of the game from the beginning,
You would
which
prefer
is mostly
stuff on the
branches.
lines of the mini expansion from this game as what
Yeah,
an
the mini
expansion.
expansion is great. Like I
Yeah.
like Fire and Ice, right? Like introducing a new map and a couple new factions. You know, the factions are new and interesting and feel like expansion
Close.
factions, but like a faction feels like a core part of the game, like a town tile that that was already part of the game. And yeah, I think they showed like that you can
well,
add a bonus tile, a town tile, a
yeah.
favor tile, a round scoring tile, and like those can
20.
change the game dramatically without feeling like they're not part of the core rules of the game.
Completely agreed. And
Lumen wins
like
this. I think Lumen wins, right? I'm not sure.
I didn't check.
Lumen has a lot of extra points. I have a 135 as my read, and so Lumen has 24 cult points and more than enough resources. Yeah, so it does look like Swarmans will have it. Um,
28.
yeah,
I have one. I'm very close to you. Black.
it's a really close game. Yeah, it really is. Except yeah,
Nice game.
Eric was right. He's behind. Yeah, this was really interesting.
So does this mean I won the auction?
It would.
The early take was whoever wins the auction wins the game.
I mean, everybody kind of got what they wanted early. Now the problem is Eric didn't. Eric thought he was going to get a 2-key town, I think, which is why he took
Sure.
Orin.
Yeah.
And so that read was wrong, but he was very close to it, so I don't think it was that wrong.
Yeah, I think I put a priest to fire in round 2, I think it was, and I think I could have passed earlier.
37.
Like instead of putting the priest to fire, that I passed
you have
before
that?
Swarmlings, and that gives me the temple and the 2-key town.
Oh, Mike is
Resource
ahead of me.
points. Resource points.
Yeah,
I
Mike's
can't-
ahead of
how
me.
many are
I have a
there?
136. Dang, nice, Mike.
Wardlings!
10 in resources. That was
Yeah.
it. Nice.
Nicely done, Horde leads. Dang, so I got third. I did think I was ahead of that, but I
Hmm.
mean, also 9 points
Close.
top to bottom here too. So I mean, whatever. Yeah, it's just a close game amongst experts
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, if I didn't have that waste in that northern town, I think I win.
If
Yeah.
Eric and I swing 8 on a cult, then neither of us win. We're in third, fourth.
Yeah, and it's one
Yeah.
of those two. Like
So
I'm 3 points behind, but I also wound up with 9 points of resources. Like that feels pretty awful. Like I wish there was things I could have done at the end still, but I
So-
just didn't have enough stuff to justify anything.
I just thought of this actually in the last round. You dug G3 on me. You could have also reached H1, couldn't you?
Who are you talking about?
Ryan.
I
Ryan
wasn't
dug
able to reach H1 before
G3.
Mike could get to it.
So
I thought you had 3
not?
ship this
He
whole
didn't-
round.
He didn't have a range town, and you had 3 shipping, right?
Mike's early action was Temple Air, or he sanctuaried Air 1 and took a range down.
So you did this in round 5. In round 5, you dug G3 from green to blue.
Oh.
You could have dug H1 from yellow
Yeah.
to brown.
and then still hit this hex that I did as well. You're right.
Yeah,
That might have
because
been.
you just had a spare priest to throw to someone, and like it was tough to tell, right? 7 points between me and Mike. It's hard to tell, but like.
I was pretty
right, you
sure
made the
Mike
call that
was
you
my
wanted me to fight
bigger.
network,
I
yeah.
was pretty sure Mike was my biggest issue because I kind of just accepted he was going to tie me, but he actually had a. I wasn't sure he was going to go for the town. I guess the second town, but he did, which really killed his ability to make sure or fight network otherwise. So.
well, no, it
yeah.
cost me because I let that middle spot get dug rather than just build on it.
Yeah.
When it was one away, when it was brown or red, it was red. Funny thing for me at the end was I probably squeak it out if I had anywhere on the map that I could fly to and dig and leave yellow, and then fly and build. But there was nowhere that was safe.
Yeah, because I have 3 shipping luminous.
You could
and
see them
shipping.
all. Yeah, you guys could see
Yeah.
everything.
These
You
these
certainly
points
wouldn't let me
breakdowns are
do that.
hilarious. Look at these points on the track.
It has to be awful, right? Like just.
It's gross. The leader has 22 track points.
Yeah, that's Mike. Yeah, I only got 8. I
Ooh.
was actually the real issue. Oh my god, yeah.
I have the second most favor points, which I guess is not too surprising given only one person took early Earth 1, 2
yeah.
maybe.
Yeah,
Had
well,
to somehow
I hit the
keep
bonus
Swarmling.
cards super well. Wow, 30. I knew I
Yeah.
hit them well, but I didn't realize that well. Damn.
Had to somehow keep Swarmling off of the big building scoring and the trading post scoring, but it's hard to do.
It's really hard to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, especially with all the scoring. Like, I mean,
And then he just
and
took
again,
shipping
it's
instead and got.
yeah, it's a couple of VPs here, right? Like that's
Yeah.
part of the problem too. It's so tight.
Nicely done. All right, that was a fun one though.
Yeah, it was really
Yeah.
good. I don't really have a huge takeaways. This was, I think, just a very well played game from everybody. It looks like bids were, close. Maybe they're off by 2 to 3 points. Maybe Orin was a bit too soon, but
It was close top to bottom. Like I do think, yeah, I get one more pass tile. I get another hex, and Fakirs don't get another hex, right? That's a 6-point swing on us on network, right? Like
yeah,
there's a lot of when it's 9 points top to bottom. There's so many little things throughout the game that can happen.
Mhm.
yeah, exactly. That's why I agree. I think it's hard to take away much from this beyond our bids.
Low scoring track, high scoring pass tiles. You just have trust in the fish faced god to send you home with all the 30 coins at the end. And
Yeah. I
Mm.
did think you were a bit behind. I thought I was liking my game, but yeah. To say,
Possibly I screwed up not towning earlier to possibly lock up air Just not let him take all the cults like that.
Well, yeah,
I
I thought the
mean,
other reason for you to town earlier too is like I thought you were just
Just
gonna
fly
win
places.
network.
Yeah.
Yeah, not making it east kind of sucks. Whenever I'm
Yeah,
playing Fakirs, I always want to be east.
True.
All right, cool game. Anybody in chat have final thoughts, questions, etc.? And anybody here in voice chat, I guess, have any final things they wish to say?
Back to the lakes next time. Got to do it.
I can do a few more lakes. I could do it. Although, really, next week is I kind of am having fun following the international clash schedule, which would mean it's actually a revised base with landscapes, which maybe is even
Oh my
worse.
God.
Yeah.
Oh no.
That map.
We're all just gonna veto it, right? Even though like I'm gonna maybe be in command for our team, and I don't care
You
enough
don't even
to
want
have
practice. That's fair. I kind of agree. We can just move on. It's totally fair. But
Because
yeah.
like, if you win the international clash, but you also win the revised base landscapes game, like, is that really a win? I don't know if we want to win.
Yeah. Anyhow, I'll just do one or two more plugs. I don't think Lumen's been streaming much of his nonsense Terra Mystica style, but he occasionally maybe still will. You can find him. Eric has started streaming, or NerdCube. You can find his channel at NerdCube Games. And if you're really looking for some Lakes advice, I think he is going to wind up streaming a decent amount of Arena. I still promise very little on that this season, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a crown to defend. Otherwise, I might not be trying so hard. But Lakes is getting under my skin a little bit already. I liked it to start, but now I'm like, oh, it's so swingy.
Correct.
Yeah.
I don't actually think it's a great map for competitive play, but we'll see.
I enjoyed a lot of the games with you guys, honestly, but like when we were talking openly, right? Like when we played last time, we were talking openly, and there was a lot of like, we were figuring it out together.
Yeah.
But when you're just playing in a game with like some random people who also haven't played on Lakes before, and then you're not talking about it together out strategy, and then it's just chaos.
Well, so to Ghostly's point, is it more swinging than fire and ice? I really think it's about the lack of knowledge on the map. You don't have a bunch of people who've played the fire and ice ladder and gotten lakes enough times, like Mike. Mike has a good idea of where things should be, but I think he probably experiences a ton of swinginess with random people too.
Yeah, I agree that when we first started last season, right, like everybody was kind of complaining about Fire and Ice as well, except me because I had already played a decent bit, and like I get it. Like I do think it's a little bit it's just the community and general player base has to get to the point where they can all start to predict each other a little more, and that it doesn't feel as bad.
I think the thing for Lakes though, like the thing that can be particularly swingy, like but aside from just us all learning the map is, well, and the problem I guess can be like if you don't know the map and you don't know that like, oh, there's just that one hex that chaos magicians need to get, and if they don't get it, like it's like a 50-point swing for them. They're just done. Like there's nowhere for them to expand. It's over, right? And so there's things like that where like that's where the lack of knowledge makes the swinginess feel even more punishing, because it's like, oh, I'm just not going to have fun for 2 hours because I didn't realize how swingy that hex was.
Yeah.
I got some heat in the last stream for saying I think it's more balanced for the colors than fire and ice. I don't know. I still think that. Like
that's a
every
reasonable
fire
take.
ice game, like Mermaids got bid 20 and still crushed sometimes, and that got. I don't see that type of bidding for colors on
Fair.
Lumens.
Yeah.
Might be true.
It's because it's crap for everyone. That's how bad the map is.
Well, that's
it
good then.
balances everyone by dragging it down.
I think that's part of it, and I mean, it's partly too, right? Like this is the small part of auction that I don't like. People don't always actually pick reasonable things, and so like if we were picking in player order on Fire and Ice, I think the game's fine a lot of the time. I don't think it's that bad.
Fair, yeah.
I think people would pick stuff that fits, but like, yes, if somebody picks mermaids and then we throw in like dwarves and giants or something, and now dwarves are just like, what are they gonna do?
Wait, aren't giants fine on that map?
Sure, giants, but what I'm saying is that now there's a red faction next to dwarves, and there might just be like a
yeah.
colorless mermaids. Like, I don't think like if you were watching people play a TM tour style pick'em, like I don't think you're gonna get like it's a little bit on the player base to like self balance, but in auction world nobody cares about that, and so they just throw in whatever they want. Or in Deep Finesse's case, he purposely messes up. I think you would see a lot of
Mermaids, Darklings, Cultists.
Chaos. You'd see mermaids, witches, chaos cultists, stuff like that.
Okay.
I think that'd be fairly balanced, honestly. I don't think you have to bid a ton on that. Hell, that was the end of the season arena matchup, right? We played a 30.
Yeah, we just didn't bid.
We didn't bid, and that was a little bit of a lark. But like, I don't actually think a lot of bidding had to be done for the witches, mermaids, cultist, chaos game
Mhm.
that we played. Yeah, I think that's a fairly balanced matchup on that map. That's a reasonable like pick and turn order type thing. But yeah, all
It
too
was
often.
also fun that I think you legitimately thought Chaos was the best faction, and I think Simon legitimately thought Cultist was the best faction, and I legitimately thought Mermaids was best. And I think Claybo just followed a little bit along for fun, but
Correct.
like the fact that it was that close for us.
Yeah.
That's a cool matchup.
Anyhow, so I don't know. I agree. Like, it's a little bit. We'll learn more on these maps as people play them more, and so partly I just need to suck up and play Lakes more, and I probably like it a little more, but it just doesn't do what I love about Terra
Yeah,
Mystica.
do what you want.
Correct.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's maps I do love. So, anyhow, thanks chat for being with us. Glad the stuff's been good. I don't know when I'm actually going to stream next because I've kind of been on an Agricola binge. If any of you want to watch those streams, they're out there. Otherwise, I'll stream Terra
Or my
Mystica.
stream.
Yeah, Leuven streams every day at noon too. If you want more Agricola, he probably helps better for beginners. I just blab on about who knows what. So anyhow, yeah, plenty of random stream stuff. Check people out whenever you want. It's out there. Ask questions if you need to. I have a Twitch. You can go join there. I try to put out some stream announcements and other stuff, or look for suggestions.
You mean you have a Discord? Is what you meant to say?
Discord. Yeah, whatever. I'm just saying lots of stuff. I don't know. Self promotion, blah blah blah. Watch
Yeah.
things. Do whatever you want. Thanks all for joining us. Thanks guys for joining me for the all player commentary here, and we will see everyone around in the future.
Yeah, thanks for having me on again.